So a huge story has broke about Shannon Sharpe leaving Undisputed, FS1's show Undisputed. It's one of the more popular shows for the morning when it pertains to sports. It's co-hosted by Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. Now, we all know Skip Bayless is a polarizing figure. I've followed Skip's whole career, and I kind of have a sense of the type of abrasive personality that he is. And obviously, most people's speculation is about his abrasive approach to things and how that rubs Shannon the wrong way. And we've seen a couple incidents with the two, notably the Damar Hamlin incident. So let me jump right into the breaking story from the New York Post. So it says, Shannon Sharpe's partnership with Skip Bayless soon will come to a conclusion. Sharpe and Fox Sports, the parent company of Fox Sports 1, which airs Undisputed, have reached a buyout agreement, sources have told the Post. Sharpe's final show is suspected to be aired after the 2023 NBA Finals conclude in June. Sharpe's popular Club Shay Shay podcast, which draws a big audience on social media and YouTube, will also be leaving Fox Sports, a source said. So let's stop right there. What we now know is that Sharpe is, Shannon is just leaving abruptly. He asked for a buyout. We don't know what's going on. Most of us don't know. Shannon Sharpe had a lot of stuff going on in the past couple weeks. He had his house burglarized. He lost over $1 million in that. So, and then he's getting sued by Brett Favre in a bogus defamation suit. So he's got a lot going on in his personal life, which isn't nearly highlighted. However, we all assume this was coming to this point. It all started with the Damar Hamlin situation when, that tragic situation happened when Hamlin went into a cardiac arrest and almost lost his life on live television. A lot of people shared thoughts. Skip had one of these really, he had a scathing post to most. Firstly, in my opinion, before I read it, the post, I actually wrote it down. Before I read it, people were upset because Skip Bayless came off as insensitive. However, I know Skip Bayless. I followed him his whole career. First of all, he's an English major. He's written books before, so he understands the English language in a way that most of us don't understand it. So he knows how to write. So the way he wrote this tweet was, in my opinion, intentional. He was expecting to get a reaction. Now, the reaction he got, he didn't expect that it would be as visceral of a reaction as he thought he would get. But, he intentionally wrote this in a way where I can see people take it way out of context. So let me read the tweet. So the tweet the post wrote here, Bayless in a stream of consciousness tweet sent after Hamlin had collapsed, but before the rest of the game had been canceled, wrote, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome. After that, he put ... which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So he put in the saving line, which seems so irrelevant, but it was way at the end of his whole 2 or 3 sentences. And people are reactionary. He knew that. He knew that people were going to clip the first 2 lines or the first 2 or 3 lines and completely ignore the last sentence, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. He knew that. He's an English major. He's been in the business for not 30 years. He's been in the business for 40 years. He understands the English language in a way we don't. So he knows better. He knew it was going to get this reaction, but he didn't know it was going to be as nuclear as it ended up being. And he definitely didn't expect it to piss off his co-host, Shannon Sharpe. So Shannon was pissed off by it to the point where he missed the show. The next show, he didn't even show up because Shannon was so upset. And then when he showed up, he was still upset. I watched the show. He was upset still because he was like, yo, you didn't apologize and you didn't take the tweet down. And, Skip being Skip is going to stand on what he believes. So he didn't take the tweet down, and then that was the first incident of disrespect in most people's eyes when it came to him and Shannon and Skip. The one thing I think the one that really put Shannon over the edge was when he disrespected him with Tom Brady. Now, he told Shannon that he said to Shannon, your scathing criticisms aren't valid because it's coming from a place of jealousy, essentially, because Tom Brady's a greater athlete than you are. He's more accomplished or whatever. And Shannon was so moved by it that he took his glasses off and stared almost all the way in the middle of the table at him and said, you gonna hurt me that way? I'm thinking verbatim. I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but he said to him, like, you gonna cut me that deep? just so you can cape for your boy Tom Brady, who you don't know? You know me, but I'm your boy. You gonna do that to me? Like the Denzel voice. You gonna do that to me? So I think Shannon that was the one I think that really put him over the top. So this news is crazy, man. The podcast is leaving. The podcast has over 1 million subscribers. It regularly does great numbers when it comes to the videos that it puts out. The numbers are great. So that's being shelved. I don't know really these articles. I've read a couple other articles. I'm not really sure who has ownership of the podcast. Shay Shay or the show Club Shay Shay. It could be entirely true that Fox owns that show as well. So maybe that's the case. I hope that's not the case. But if it is, who cares? He can create something else. I mean, the guy literally has his own spirit alcohol, his own yak. So I'm sure he can come up with another inventive name if he doesn't own it. But I'm not seeing that conclusive anywhere. So I'm not going to assume that Fox owns it. Just because they took it off don't mean they own it. It could be true. It could be the case that Shannon does own the rights to the name and he can bring it somewhere else. So who knows? We'll see. Hopefully, I'll definitely keep tabs on this and see where it goes. But yeah, this is kind of a living, breathing story that's ongoing, and we're just kind of finding out new things as we go along. He's going to be on for the next couple weeks as the finals conclude, but it's really insane. I mean, I would not at all be surprised now that he's kind of a free agent. I would not at all be. Listen, you heard it first. This man, don't be surprised if this man turn around and sign with CAA or Jay-Z's Rock Nation, or sign up with somebody with LeBron or something as an agency group, because he's going to be a hot ticket item. People are going to, production companies, networks, I'm sure is going to be lining up, give him an offer to go somewhere, because he's entertainment and he's proven that he's worth the price of admission.